I think it was you, Lincoln, who first revealed, disclosed, that the UNDP has come in quite quietly without any announcement from the government or anyone to assist this country in constitutional reform. What does that say about our country 51 years after independence?
You want me to tell you something? When I get this letter, I ask myself, what happened with these men and women? I really ask myself. These people get a constitution that was established in 1980, and then they did a number of amendments to it. The Ethnic Relation Commission is comatose right now. So is the
Local Government Commission.
The local government. So is the Public Services Appellate.
Right.
The Human Rights Commission never appointed, right? All these things, they have never done anything about this constitution. They put nothing to test. But they're coming now to tell you that they're going to do constitution. Let me tell you something. When you look at Title 1 of this constitution, Title 1 speaks about your rights, fundamental rights in this society. I heard a politician, a senior politician saying, we need to have a Bill of Rights, but which tells me these guys don't read the Constitution, right? And what they have done now is to bring some people to seek the possible to reform this Constitution that has never been tested and tried and tested. Never been. It tells you also that they can, by themselves, agree on simple way forward.
Who is this they? Let's be fair. Who is this they? Because you speak of this political landscape as a dichotomy. Maybe, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. I suspect you're speaking the PPP on one side and the APNUFC on the other.
That's what I'm saying. They are the guys. Let me say to you, in 1991, Jeffrey Thomas had put out, as Minister of Local Government, Regional Development, put out a massive bill, laid it in Parliament, how the spoils of this country will be divided between the regions, the towns, and the central government. Both sides of the house colluded to kill that bill. I have a copy of it, right? They were saying, look, if you're doing gold and the gold come from Region 7, what percentage Region 7 was? Not this constitution was established in 1980. Not one piece of legislation since then, legislation that have been put in place to make the question of the regional system work.
Well, there has been some
legislation.
There has been some legislation in terms of the allocating of resources, which is Article 77A calls
It is in the Constitution, but I'm talking the law. I'm talking moving from the Constitution, put the law in place.
As part of the local government reform headed by Attorney General Basil Williams, we've had some change, but I think in terms of the allocation of resources.
That's allocation. I'm talking about the law, Chris.
No.
Make the law.
No, it's the allocation of resources based on a legal principle.
I want to tell you, Chris.